Good evening, puppies. Copper, what are you doing, boy? Yeah, it's time to go down and get ourselves a wood fire started. Hey, Queenie. Yep. Alright, guys, it's time to go start a wood fire. Or using the wood furnace in the basement. It's not freezing, but it is getting a little chilly. So we're gonna head on down and show you my wood fire setup down here. Here is, I used to work for a masonry company a couple years ago, and I've still got wood left over. These are all these little, in between every single sheet of pallets of bricks and stuff like that, they had these little pieces of wood. And these things are, you know, they just threw them in the dumpster, so I went around and was picking them up. I had like 3 times this amount. And it's just nice little strips of dried wood that you can break up and use. You'll see me use it probably to start a fire with. Very, very good to use. And then also over here, just from splitting wood, you get tons and tons and tons of just little splinter pieces that you can pick up. Great for just keeping stored and used for kindling to get a fire going. Here is the wood furnace. Oh, it's pretty freaking awesome. Came with the house. So, this thing's been down here for, I think they put the basement in like 30 years prior to me buying the house. So this thing's been down here for at least 40 or 45 years. It's pretty freaking cool. Very, very heavy duty. Works wonderful. Oh, I forgot to bring a light down, but you know, it's got a very, very big opening. I mean, you can get some, I think this thing will hold like 30, I think this opening is like 9 by like 14 or something. And it's like 30 inches deep, so you can get some really, really large logs in here. Here's the information on it if you guys are interested in what this thing is. Might be difficult to read, but so, and then of course the ashtray down here in the bottom. So, and then over here, 2 years ago, I decided to buy and have a brand spanking new gas furnace and AC unit installed in this house, and have it all hooked up, have all of the exhaust lines and everything hooked up through the wood furnace too, so that everything's connected. And there is a dampener right up here, so that when this thing is going full blast, the wood furnace, that all the heat up here doesn't come back and backflow into this gas furnace and damage any of the components in it. So, because this gets really, really hot down here. Very, very hot. So, but, you know, that along with the brand new AC, these are top of the line, let's see, Rude or Ream, basically. They're made by Ream, but they put the Rude name on them too. I had this installed along with a tankless water heater. I'll get to that in a moment. I spent $11,000 on this unit. It's like, I think it's like a 15 or 16 SEER. Wait, no, 16 SEER, 2-stage unit. I spent $11,000 on the unit along with the tankless water heater to have this installed. And the guy that I hired was a total nut job. I mean, he screwed up everything so bad on this thing that when I went to turn this thing on, it fried all the boards in here because he had the water drain system from the vent line hooked up wrong, so it was backflowing water in there and it dripped all over the control boards and screwed everything up, blew it out twice. He had the let's see, the control lines here going outside, he had these all ripped up in so many spots. It's like where he was like, I don't know what he did, but he's like had parts of the wire like melted. So when it went out to the condenser outside, I went and turned it on last summer, and the motor blew in it twice. Blew it, had somebody come out and replace the motor. and it blew again before we figured out that the lines were all frayed and screwing everything up. And anyway, not only that, I had the guy also install a tankless water heater. And this thing is way too big for this house. This is more for like a 3,000 or 4,000 square foot house. With multiple bathrooms and sinks and showers. But the reason why I spent more and got one of these bigger units was because the smaller ones required that you go with stainless steel venting. And they had to go straight up through the roof. And I was like, after looking at the prices of the stainless steel, it would have cost me like $1,500 in stainless steel pipes. And a ridiculous amount of effort to go all the way up through the house and through the roof and everything. I was like, screw that. And I just spent a couple hundred extra, I think it was like an extra $400 to get a much larger unit. And it works fine with PVC. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to do PVC and do a horizontal line out underneath the house. And it's been working fine since. Excellent job. So, very awesome. I love tankless water heaters. Endless water, hot water for as long as you want to take a shower. So I'm planning on doing that when I go off grid, but obviously get a ridiculously smaller unit. Probably propane powered. That way it doesn't require any electricity power or anything like that at all. So, but anyway, long story short, that same guy that I hired to install all this stuff, obviously, was a total whack job, and he screwed up all the water pipes so bad. I mean, some of them were in there so tight that they were bowing in spots, and all of the connectors, especially down in this area, were just so mangled and not proper, and they started to leak in spots. And instead of trying to go after him in court or try to get him to get back here and fixed, I just hired another better company, I think Budget Heating and Cooling, and they came in here, and for another $6,000 they redid everything for me, made sure everything was hooked up right, fixed it. I mean, I should have hired them to begin with. So I was trying to save a couple of bucks and hired some. Anyway, it was a long story, bad decision. So, and then, I went to go and turn the AC on earlier this year, and out at the condenser outside, and it wasn't working. Well, the condenser was working, but it wasn't getting cold inside. And here it turns out that one thing that we didn't check, because it was working at the time when I had the other company come out and fix everything, was the Freon line running out to the condenser. He had it installed in such a way, connected to the unit outside, that it was leaking the Freon, and it took over a year for it to leak. So I went and turned it on this year, didn't work. We found the leak, and of course I had to spend another $1,000 in Freon, because the way this is hooked up, the Freon line is ridiculously long. So because of the way I've got stuff set up outside, I think the Freon line is like 50 or 60 feet long. So I mean, it's just a ridiculous amount of Freon to fill in these. I think it was like 11 pounds of Freon. So had to have that refilled. So another $1,000 all in total for this $11,000 system. After 2.5 years of just bullshit to finally get it working, I've spent a grand total of almost $21,000 on this system. It all works now, but I got totally screwed over. And then now I'm moving, so whatever. I don't really care. So somebody else, it works. It's brand new. I hardly ever use it because I got the gas. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna try gas heat, because I just had an electric heat in here before, and this house never had gas. I had a gas line ran to it, but I always used the wood furnace. But I was like, let's try a gas furnace, and I don't like it. It's inconsistent. Numerous corners of rooms all over the house do not heat evenly, and just constantly turning on and off, and I just don't like it. Wood heat, I've mentioned it before in the first part of this video. I mean, just extremely superior. It's just a continuous, constant heat, and I mean every single crack and cranny and corner of this house stays extremely balmy. I mean, it's like you're like numerous times just like stripping down to your freaking boxers and running outside and opening windows to cool down. And definitely going to do that again in the country. Although I'm only going to have like 500 to 700 at most square foot, and I'm just going to bring the cast iron freestanding wood furnace I got in the living room that's in this house with me. Would love to take this one, but it's would require a crane to get out of here, and the deck that I have built up above here probably wouldn't support a crane, and with the roofs and everything, it would be a bitch to get out of here. Plus, this is designed for, you know, 13 to 100 to 2,000 square foot homes, and it's not going to be necessary. So it'll help make the house sell with it. So anyway, let's get on with what we're doing down here. I was going to show you the wood furnace. So let me get this set up here on the tripod here. Alright, in the previous video, you guys saw me hauling wood down into the little basement area. Okay, yeah, in the first video when you guys saw me hauling the firewood, I was bringing it down here and dumping it down into the stairwell, and this is the doorway to that stairwell going outside. I never use it for an entrance or exit, so watch out, guys. If I can get it open, there it goes. Get back, come on, back up. Depending on how the wood falls down in here, if I don't hand stack it, which I didn't do this time, sometimes it will come crashing down out of here. So, oh, look at that. Get back, in case it comes down. Watch out. So, thankfully it did not come crashing down this time. And it's a nice haul of wood sitting there. But I know as soon as I pull like one or two pieces out of there, some of it's gonna come down. Stay back. So, yes, but like I mentioned before, this will probably be 4 weeks worth of heat. It hasn't been too cold lately, so it might last a little bit longer. If I can get it to last through December, that'd be awesome. I'll show you guys the inside of here. Didn't have a light before, but it's a nice, pretty deep fireplace. So I think on some of the walls there's a couple of the fire bricks that are cracked, but it's never been an issue. I haven't bothered with attempting to replace them, so haven't had any issues. So let's get this loaded up, and we'll get ourselves a really nice fire going here in a moment. All right, watch out, guys. Okay, let's see. Now what I like to do, I'll take a couple sheets of this really nice dry wood and crack it. All right. Let's see if we can't. Nice little angle down in here. All right, and then what I do is I just stick this nice little bit of wood right down there in between a couple of blocks. So I like to get the little kindling working, a little bit of lighter fluid. Need that light anymore. Back that up here a little bit. Let's see here. And once it's going, I'll couple more pieces in there strategically so that it all burns nicely. Very surprised that this wall of wood in this doorway hasn't come crashing down yet. It usually does by now. Oh, there's a couple pieces. All right. Well, we are. We got ourselves a nice little fire going. See if I can't get a better angle here. There we go. Nice little fire going in there. Oop. Don't want any smoke to come out yet. Usually what I do to get a really nice good fire going is I'll let this run for a couple of minutes here with the door open, give it maximum amount of air. And then I just close the door. I leave it cracked open here. Show you what I mean. You know, I just close it and leave it cracked like that. So there's a crack. Once it starts getting going a little bit better, that way there's still a good amount of air going. Then once a couple pieces of the wood have fully caught fire, then I'll come back in here. I'll see the smoke starting to escape now. So that's where I need to close the door. And I just leave it like that. And you see the smoke stops. And I'll let it go for, 5 or 10 minutes. Let the wood get going really nice and hot. And then I'll come down here and shut the door entirely and turn the fan on. So, anyway, we'll be back once that gets going. Alright, so we got ourselves a nice, really nice fire going now. Not quite ready to seal the door yet, but we're getting really close. But as you can see, we definitely have a nice airflow going now. You can see all the smoke being pulled to the rear and up with the door open. That's excellent. It's very excellent. And we'll go up here. Okay, we don't have enough smoke going yet, but normally you can see some kind of crazy little bug hanging out right there. You're probably like, what the heck? My house is getting all hot and stuff. This ain't cool. So normally you can see a nice, no, I can't see it, so it's not coming up on camera, but normally you can see a really nice flow of the smoke coming through there. So, oh, that's just a stink bug. Hey, stinky bug. Your home's getting really hot, you better get off of there. You're gonna fry. Alright, we'll be back once this gets coaling a little bit. But now, as you can see, it's really going nice and hot. Very, very nice. So we got an excellent fire. The airflow is perfect. Oh yes, very, very, very nice. Actually, I'll go right up here. I can see it now that that's open. You might be able to see. And there we go. You can see all the sparks zipping by. Perfect. It's been a while since I've had a nice airflow like this. Works so well on the first startup. Usually it takes me a little bit of time to get it going. So anyway, it's about time to, looks like it's about time to seal up the door here in a moment. We'll get the heat going. If I'm not mistaken, it's this one. Yep. That turns the fan on. Oh, and of course the fire alarm goes off down here. Must be leaking a little bit of air out, smoke out this door. So you get this close, so this will shut off. We'll be back once this coal's really good. Whew. So this handle is broken, starting coming off. That's dangerous. Could burn the crap out of yourself. Oh yeah, look at that in there. Very, very nice fire. Coaling up nicely. Get a couple more nice logs in here and then we'll seal it up for the night. That'll keep us warm all night. Sweet. There we go. Alright. I love this wood fire. This wood stove. Once we seal this up, this will keep us warm all freaking night. Or at least for the next 6 hours or more. 8 hours. Well, that's not cool. That handle just totally broke off. Which means I'm gonna have to get something new for there, because that's just steel now. And that's gonna burn like a motherfucker. You touch that, so. Alright, and of course the fire alarm's going off again. Anyway, there we go. Wood heat. I love it. Alright. Shut up. I know. There's smoke. Oh, it's horrible. Alright, well there we have it, guys. Excellente wood heat for this house. And a nice supply all stacked up in here. Ready to go. And yeah, it takes a short minute for the... Can't close the door anymore because there's too many logs that have come down. But with that amount of wood and everything in there, there's very little air leaking through here. So it's all good. So a couple of days or after this weekend, this will clear up a little bit and I'll be able to close the door again. But it's all good. Of course, yes, the heat coming off of this is freaking amazing. Sometimes I've almost thought about just freaking pulling a bed down here in the basement and sleeping next to this thing. But the master bedroom is directly above and that room gets so freaking toasty. So, all right, have a good one, guys.